when you're winning. Get a goal, it's just the beginning. You gotta sing when you're winning. Everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. You gotta sing when you're winning. Get a goal, it's just the beginning. Sing, sing when you're winning. Everywhere you go.
Hello and welcome to episode 28 of the Sing When You're Winning, a Fantasy Football League oddity podcast featuring distant cousins of podcast royalty and a very special guest who we will reveal very shortly, unless you're watching on YouTube and you might be able to guess already. Waiting in line for the podcast throne this week are myself, Jamie. We've got Steve once again, Jersey Chris, and Lee is back this week as well. Stu said he was going to be, but he never, ever. He's that guy who says he's going to come to your party, and then he never arrives.
You did say. I don't think Stu will turn up because he never does. Didn't
yeah, exactly. He never does. Too busy looking for his pants. That's his problem. But yeah, this week, as it's Friday morning, it's Valentine's Day. People, are you feeling the mood for love? There,
love is in the air.
It is everywhere you look around. So, have you ever taken a date to the footy, or made sure you were in a pub at a certain time to watch the game while being out on a date? Does anyone want to own up to that?
Yeah, I do that most Sundays.
That's a super Sunday for you, isn't it? Excellent. Does Nick like that?
She does now. Now she's a fantasy league player. She's all, if she's got skin in the game, she's there.
I like the thinking. You've managed to work it out that way.
I did say to her the other week because we got into town and I think we need to do some shopping. And she was going, "Should we go straight to the terrace to watch the football?" I'm like, "You've changed."
Brilliant.
Good stuff. Anyone else?
No, you'd never arrange a date when football's on. Football comes first, so date second.
Yeah, you've never taken a date to the footy, like.
No, I wouldn't do that.
See, when I first met my wife Claire, we went to Borough Bolton, like second or third week of being together, and that was the start of Borough when they got relegated from their long time in the season. I blamed her for a long time. We got beat 4-1 at home to Bolton, and then we were just crap for the rest of the season. That was in the November, and we went down in the May. So yeah, all her fault. Simple. Anyways, moving swiftly on. Let's introduce our special guest, and we'll find out whether he's ever taken a date to the footy as well. So this week's special guest is the drummer from legendary indie band the Bluetones. So there's a healthy, I don't know if it is healthy, in-band Sing When You're Winning rivalry. He could let us know going on. And he's also a member of the Institute of Osteopathy, as well as being registered with the General Osteopathic Council, which I was very impressed.
Are you reading this from Wikipedia?
Research. It wasn't. No, I did a bit of research. No. I mean, I cut and paste a fair bit, but I normally do Wikipedia. This was proper research. And if that wasn't impressive enough, he's also a manager in the Sing When You're Winning League. Let's give a very warm welcome to Eds Chesters.
Woo! Hello.
And it did sound like if someone got a washing machine in the background, it sounded like something was taking off there while we were chatting.
Yeah, I have. I've just gone on mute.
Great stuff. I could hear it. It was like building up as I was going on. So if you're listening to this podcast this Friday morning, hearing that was a Jersey Chris's washer in the background. Great stuff.
Spin cycle.
Yes. Great stuff. So welcome, Eds. How are you doing?
Yeah, all right. Thanks. Not bad. Yeah.
Good. Do you like a bit of Valentine's Day this Friday morning?
No, me and Mrs. Chesters don't really observe St. Valentine's Day. Never have done. Just one of those things. Got away with it.
Great.
It's
stuff.
just love all year round, isn't it, Eds?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Why does it need to be a special day? Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll be getting lots of abuse on the WhatsApp chat probably for talking about Valentine's Day more than once. So let's have a look at your FPL stats. Thanks to Statman Steve preparing these. You're a Sing When You're Winning an FPL boss since 2017-2018, making this your 8th season. described
Wow.
as the Neely man of the league, having finished runner-up in both 2019, losing on score to Stu Dunn, and again in 2022 behind Steve himself. Sat there.
Sorry.
And on top of that misfortune, the one that probably hurt the most is you also lost 2022, the
Devlin.
Sing When You're Winning Cup final to the rival and bandmate Adam Devlin. And at the time of recording, you are currently third, so looking to go one better this season. So yeah, you're doing pretty well though.
Yeah, I do like games more so than football. But
Oh, okay. So do you?
yeah,
so do
it's
you?
all about
do
the
you-
strategy and stuff.
You're more bothered about the FPL than the actual games themselves, then?
Yeah.
Oh, is that because you're
Yeah.
a Newcastle fan? So that's a cheap jibe for me to get in, but very cheap.
Yeah, we're going to win something this year, aren't we?
You are.
We're bound. It's
Yeah.
got to happen.
No, I can't. I think you'll do Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. If you play like you did in the semi-final, you've got arguably the best striker. So I can't see. If you play like that, I think you'll beat Liverpool. But we shall see.
Yeah.
Well, the FA Cup's up for
Yeah, it's
grabs
all
now,
coming
isn't it?
together.
Yeah. The FA Cup's definitely up for grabs. I quite fancy Forest for the FA Cup, although they almost blew it last night against the other night because it's Friday morning, of course.
They did.
But yeah, I think Newcastle probably having their best season in years. So,
Absolutely, yeah. That's a really strong midfield now, isn't it? Those three.
yeah, getting
Tonali
Tonali back.
Tonali was worth waiting for. That
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, he was going great guns at first. He made a big impact at first, didn't he? So it was a big thing to lose him, but getting him back now, he was almost a forgotten man as well. I think a lot of people forgot how good he was until he's come back and started playing, which is good stuff. Let's have a bit of a chat around SWYW League, though. We'll chat a little bit more about Newcastle United and your love for them, Eds, in a bit. But as this week, we're finally ending game week 24, although at the time of recording, Liverpool and Everton are about to kick off. So we might have some live action as it happens this Friday morning. But there's no tables and results, but we thought we would discuss chip management. We're not talking how to balance some French fries along with your pint and a match day program. We're talking about the Assman chip and the triple captain chip and all sorts of chips that are still left to play. So has anyone thought of a strategy? Ed, you said you like games. Have you got a bit of a strategy going on with how you're going to use what chips you have left?
I just went off early with the assistant manager. As soon as I heard that news that there was a good chance that Liverpool would be double game week and in 25, I just thought 5 games for most people are just getting points from 3 games, right?
Yeah.
I thought those extra 2 games just for me was like a bit of a no-brainer. And I'm in the El Cachico league as well, and I'm playing a couple of people who are quite high up. I think two of my rivals in the next 3 game weeks were people who are scoring quite well in that, and I thought they needed some competition. So I thought, I'd go with the Assman, like a lot of people.
Good stuff. And so, how are you doing in El Cachico then? Are you up? I guess that you're up amongst.
It's very tight,
in the way you said. Yeah.
It's very tight. I think I'm in 8th, 6 points behind the leader. It's very tight.
Yeah, exactly. You're definitely in the running. Is anyone else in El Cachico? Is everyone in El Cachico?
Yeah. I think we're all in it.
I'm just above Eds, actually. You're 10th at the minute, and I'm 9th.
Yeah, I'm 15th.
Points.
Steve's 17th.
Oh, thanks. I thought you might know that one.
You do know, Chris, is all going to come and bite you on the ass when you get relegated.
I know.
As we say, it's all very close.
Yes, exactly. But anyone
Steve,
else?
that piece of stat that you put up a few weeks ago, where it was a table of the amount of points that people have scored against you in games, rather than the amount of points that your team scored. Very, very revealing.
Yeah, that shows a bit of the luck, doesn't it, really?
Exactly. Because
I can't
in
remember.
you know, like in one of the leagues, some people in Kashiko are doing really well, and then they're just bombing in the Premier League, and
Yeah,
it's all about that.
doesn't
It's
it?
all about how many points people are scoring against you.
Yeah. Well, I think even in the Conference League there, my lad Finn is actually doing quite well points-wise, but Conference League, I think he's far from bottom. He just keeps losing. Whoever he's playing just beats him. His score's fine. His scores are top halves, but he's far from bottom. So literally just luck. But nobody wants to go in that Conference League because there's about 10 teams that are really good in there.
Yeah.
So getting relegated down there is a bad idea. Staying in the Premier League where everyone's crap, that's where
It'll take a long time to get that quality up into the Premier League.
A long time.
we can all regroup in the Championship or League One eventually.
Championship
all
where it is, I've told
all the
you.
old timers.
It's the best league, the Championship. I enjoy winning one and losing one every week, every other week. That's what happens. Win one, you lose one.
Yep.
It's just like in real life. But I've been doing a bit of research again for this week, which is unusual for me. Looking at blank and double game weeks potentially coming up for tips of when you might want to use your chips. But obviously, as Ed's mentioned, it's now a double game week this coming week for game week 25 for Liverpool and Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So there could be some potential Villa people to go for in that one.
Yeah, I've pondered it. It's quite a good idea because I think after their double, they play Southampton at home as well. So
right,
you'd fancy him for a good win in that one, wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But the ones to watch in game week 29, there's a blank game week for Liverpool, Aston Villa, and likely to be Crystal Palace and Newcastle, apparently.
Yeah, this is where it gets confused, isn't it? Because you've got to play a free hit in a blank game week and things like that, don't you? And
I think it's waste a free hit on a blank game week.
Yeah.
That's not quite a waste, but it always feels like a bit of a waste.
Then fitting a wild card in, fitting in a bench boost, wherever, and then your ass man chip. But then you can't play anything else if you're playing your ass man chip, so you've got to be pretty careful. Must only be small windows when you can play your ass man chip, I'd have thought. So maybe Eds is right, get it out of the way now and then it's done.
Yeah. I played mine as soon as it came out just to get it out of the way because it's too much to think about anyway. So, if you're thinking about it strategically, I just thought, get that done because then I don't have to worry about any of my other chips and I can just crack on. And I picked Moyes, he's got me 12 points so far. Obviously, there's another match tonight, so I think probably reduce those 12 points a bit. But yeah, it's stuff I always think. I think what's changed as well this year is having the 5 subs potentially. I was desperate to kind of play my wild card, even though I played it early last part of the season before Christmas. But yeah, it's the strategic side of it is sometimes what trips you up because I think you can overthink it a little bit as well.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm forever thinking, right, well, who's Jamie going to play as his captain? Should I just match his captain or should I go for somebody different? And you can probably go down a rabbit hole, especially with the stuff that's coming up as well with the blank game weeks and the double game weeks and all that type of stuff as well. My triple captain, I'm just saving it for Colin Jenkins because he did it against me and he did a bit of shithousery.
You've just given that away, Lee. Now he knows your tactic.
He already knows.
Right.
And he's in Thailand at the minute, so he'll be on a special register when he gets back and all that sort of stuff.
Do I need to edit that bit out?
No, you don't.
Well, plus playing stuff like that is depends whether you're playing for your points or whether you're concentrating on a head-to-head league. Like Ed said, he's looked at who he's playing it next couple of weeks, so he's thinking I'll get the points for that. Whereas if I keep losing, I'll be in a relegation battle then. So I'll be looking. I need to get my points against Faris and Dan and John, who's down there. Michelle's just caught me up now, and she didn't win for about 3 months.
Yeah, it's really the leagues are really tight as well. I think the quality, like you said, the conference is really bad. Championship's really tight at the bottom as well. So yeah. Stuff.
Happy to be in mid-table in the Championship. So for now, anyway. Shall we talk about real football then? Shall we talk about 3 games this coming weekend? Now we've got the FA Cup out of the way. Let's start with Saturday lunchtime on the telly, Leicester against Arsenal. What do we think?
Leicester getting battered.
Yeah.
You always say Leicester will get
Yeah.
battered.
Well, it's usually right as well.
Yeah, to be fair.
Yeah, I think so. And Arsenal, I think Trossard might be a good one to look out for now. I think he might get his chance as a centre forward for them.
Yeah, because didn't he
Seems
already
to know
say
where the
that
net is.
Havertz is injured?
Havertz is out
Yeah,
for the
they've got
season
anyone
now.
else.
So they've got no
Yeah.
Jesus, no Havertz, no Saka. Trossard seems to score
Is
every
that-
time he plays for Arsenal.
What about that Nwaneri? Is that his name?
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah,
not
he's
pronouncing
more-
that wrong.
No, I think
he's a winger though, isn't he? Has he
is he?
replaced
Right.
Saka? But I don't think they have anyone to play
Ah,
centre
right.
forward. So
Yeah,
it'll
I
have to
think it will be
yeah.
Trossard up front, won't it?
Yeah, I'd have thought so.
Yeah, no, it could be
But
be
yeah.
a good tip.
3-0.
3-0 Arsenal. Any advance on that? 5-0
Yeah, 5.
Arsenal?
I'll have 5.
I'll have 6 then. I'll go 6-0.
Right. Man City Newcastle is also sad. It's not on the telly though. Eds, we'll go with you as you're a Newcastle fan. What do you think?
Well, I was thinking of getting rid of Jacob Murphy.
Right.
I'm not that confident.
Okay.
They look pretty good. I thought last night against Real Madrid, despite doing lapse of concentration at the end, but they look pretty. I thought they looked almost back to the way they were.
Yeah.
And is Rodri playing again or?
I don't think he is, but they've named him in the Champions
Named him in
League
the
squad
squad,
just in case. I
just
think
right.
Everton for the
Yeah.
end. But
So I don't think he's going to be playing imminently, but he
I
could
think
be around.
I think they've turned the corner
I
a
think
bit.
we'll
and
score.
the new lads they've got might help them out, won't they?
I'm not convinced by Man City yet. I think Newcastle are going into that weird place now where some of them will be thinking about the cup final and going, do you want to be knackered for the cup final? And then the fans all get excited about that. So you could have a false month where everyone just gets excited about playing at Wembley. Or it's a funny one. Some teams do that.
But the Champions League
When
places
is the
are up for grabs
Carabao?
out there as well. I think it's
Yeah.
it's week 29 anyway. Game week 29. That's where the blank week is.
Yeah,
That's the Carabao Cup, is it?
Yeah.
It's
It's also on the same day as the Potions Cauldron Cup final as well. I think you'll find.
Well, let's all get to Wembley or the Shambles to stand outside the shop. That's what
I'm going 1-1 anyway.
You go 1-1 for that. That's a decent result for Newcastle if they can get that. Yeah, the Carabao Cup final is Sunday, the 16th of March. For those people who don't have it in their calendar. Anyone else think Newcastle? I think Newcastle will do City. To be fair, compound the misery for Pep.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tight game. I think maybe 2-1, but I can see Newcastle turning them over.
Yeah, me too.
I think really close. I'm on the fence here. I don't know whether to go for a draw just to be that person, but I fancy Newcastle, but I also fancy City. Maybe City might just do it 2-1, 1-0.
All right, we'll have one person going for City then, and then on Sunday, Lee, Spurs Man U. I mean, this is like the wooden spoon game, isn't it? Like two teams having a shit seasons, and who can salvage a little bit of glory.
Plenty of goals.
Worse.
It's my most dreaded fixture, I think, because like all my family are United fans.
Yeah,
I brought up in Stretford, so all the years and past glories of Manchester United. In some ways, it's nice to see them suffering a little bit, because nobody's got that divine right, which some clubs and some fans think they have to win something every season. Being a Tottenham fan, it's not something we've ever considered, to be honest with you. We've got a couple of people coming back from injury, which is positive, and I'm still Team Ange. I think he's doing a good job with the players that he's got, and the players absolutely knackered. They look absolutely shattered, and we've got a corner to turn. Obviously, getting knocked out of the cup. There's only the European one now that we're in. It's disappointing, but the players look look up for it. I think that's the thing for me. I think when you see like United, when they go a goal down, the heads go down, drop even early on in the game. I think Spurs chase the game all the time. They might be knackered, they might not have the best team, but at least they tend to go for it. So I'm going to go for a Spurs win, I think, but probably, I don't know. Let's say 3-2. I think there'll be goals in it because both got shit defences.
Yeah. Anyone
Yeah.
else?
And Man United are terrible at home as well, aren't they? It's awful to see.
It's at Spurs, this one, though. So, but I mean, either way, I think it's two bad teams, to be fair.
Yeah, no bias whatsoever, but I think Spurs will win easily.
I know this is the problem, though. You're all saying that. You know, it's not going to work that way now. United are going to win. But yeah, again, just for Jenkins, I hope Tottenham win.
Yeah, I just hope I hope it's a really ridiculous game of lots of goals and howlers. Like that. That's what I'm hoping for.
It could easily be. Yeah, it could be. It'll be entertaining anyway, won't it?
Yeah. Watch it be 0-0.
0-0. 0-0. No bookings, no corners, no free kicks.
But you do wonder. I mean, they're holding on to Ange for whatever reason. But if they lost that game, is that, I don't know, like.
Yeah, but you could say that for anyone. If they bring a new manager in, he's still going to have all the injury list, isn't he? And then I don't know what else you could do, really. And Man United, I mean, Amarin's results aren't good either, are they? I don't think if he'd been there a while, he'd be up for getting sacked as well.
He probably would.
Who's out there? Who's out there to replace him?
No, there's not many, and there's not many that you could tempt either. I think True. At the moment it's. Ineos talking again today about making more people redundant at the club and everything, and it's a shame to see this. Well, not for you guys, but to see this once great club actually become a bit of a laughing stock. Across the football business world as well as anything else. But when you get like the finance guys in charge and running the club, same at Tottenham, it changes the dynamic of the club. I think United missed those local lads that they used to have, but they also miss a bastard in midfield. Somebody that's going to get stuck in, and I think that's what Tottenham miss as well. So there's lots to do at the club, and it's a shame to watch them both down there. But again, got no divine right to be in the Premier League. We're not playing well enough, so we'll see how it goes. We're lucky that these worst teams.
I was going to say, I think you tend to get three really bad teams nowadays, don't you?
Yeah, so there's no way they're getting relegated or anything. No. They've just got to write off the season, really, haven't they? And then next season they're going to get judged because Ange will have his players back, and Amarin will probably have a few of his own players in there then, won't he?
Yeah. He can put to bed his "I'll win something in the second season."
He still could. He could have that European Cup.
He could.
In a weird way, I'd quite like
relegation.
That's not that great. Did it take him 2 seasons to win something in Scotland? That's nothing to brag about.
Pretty bad. Cool. So let's have a bit more of a chat with you then. So as we've talked about already, you're a Newcastle fan. Why Newcastle? It might be bleeding obvious, but why? Why do you support Newcastle United?
Yeah, I'm from County Durham. So half the town where I grew up were Sunderland supporters and half was Newcastle. But my dad was a Newcastle supporter, sort of. Yeah. He wasn't massively into football. No one in my house really was. But yeah, he was born and brought up in Newcastle, so it just seemed like the obvious choice. When I got to about age 19, no, it's 20. Yeah, it was. What really got me into football was Italia 90 World Cup. And then, so I really enjoyed watching that tournament, mainly in Liverpool, because a few of my mates went to Liverpool uni. And then, so it's like, started getting into football from that. And then Newcastle, I'd always thought I was a Newcastle fan, even though I didn't really follow them as a kid. Yeah. But as a young man, it became Newcastle.
Good stuff. You're right though. I was brought up in County Durham, probably not far from where you're from actually. But yeah, it was all Sunderland or Newcastle. So I went for Borough because I liked the underdog. So that was the rationale.
Do you ever
there was
regret
the
that
odd,
decision,
like,
Jamie?
Borough fan.
No, because until Newcastle wins something, Middlesbrough are the only North East club in my lifetime that have ever won a trophy. So, so despite Sunderland and Newcastle being far more successful and bigger clubs, we're the only one who've won a trophy. So
It'd be a
I've got
bad
that.
season for you.
I've
Bad
got that
season for
until
you this year.
Newcastle, but I do know Newcastle are going to win the Carabao, I think. But anyway, so what are your highs and lows of supporting Newcastle then? So you got into Newcastle kind of around 1990, early 90s. So that was quite an exciting time to get into Newcastle, wasn't it? With Kevin Keegan.
Yeah, it was just when exactly. Keegan got them up from. Oh, he won the first division, wasn't it, back then?
Yeah.
And then up into the Prem, and that amazing season where they looked like they had a good chance of winning it at Christmas, and it all went a bit weird. Keegan's entertainers were brilliant.
The style of football Keegan played at first, the first time around at Newcastle was absolutely fantastic. I think if Fergie hadn't been around, Keegan probably would have won something.
Yeah, I was going to say if he'd have kept hold of Andy Cole, but then they got Shearer and Les Ferdinand and stuff instead, didn't they? So it wasn't bad replacements, were they really?
No, not at all. But yeah, Newcastle always they were the big entertainers. I think for all Manchester United were winning everything in the 90s. You look back at Newcastle, arguably had the most entertaining side at that time. I think
that 5-0 game as well against Man United was just brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Philippe Albert lobbing. I mean, that's just cracking, wasn't it? But I know Fergie always said, "Oh, they still talk about it to this day and still sell the DVDs in the club shop and that." But even neutrals loved the fact that Newcastle murdered Man U 5-0. I think it was a almost universally popular result at the time. And what would you say your lows of supporting them are then? You've had quite a lot of highs, I think, as a Newcastle fan, probably. But what are the lows?
Do you know what? When they struggle, I kind of lose interest.
Oh, you're a fair weather fan. Is that what you
Fair
are? Kind
weather
of
fan.
So when Mike Ashley was in charge,
I think they just go with Mike Ashley.
You were recording albums at the time. That's what it was. You can have that as a distraction.
I was busy.
Yeah,
having kids.
But yeah, I imagine do you get to St James's Park often then? How often do you get there?
Like once a year.
A year. Good stuff.
Yeah. I know someone who's a platinum member, and so he kind of says once a year, just let me know which match you want to go to. I'll get you a ticket.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
Once you get every match, which would be the one that you'd say, "Oh, I need to go to that one"?
Well, I don't know this year. Yeah, I'm kind of a bit busy through March and April, and I don't know. It's not so easy to get the tickets in May, so this actually might be one of the years where I don't get up there, unfortunately.
Well,
Cup final tickets, Ed. You get some of those from somebody.
Yeah, no, yeah. I wish.
Can you not go down
that'll be a hot ticket.
Is there not somebody you know via the band who's kind of got sponsorship or something at these big Wembley days out?
No,
could be the way in, you know.
Could be a ball boy.
Yeah. Get your bandmates on it. Make it. Get Devlin on it. See if he set him a challenge. See if he can get you a ticket for the Carabao Cup final.
Swanee, ask Swanee. He'll be able
all
to
right.
sort it out.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Really?
I would.
Swanee's
He's
a
a
big
Newcastle fan, isn't he, Swanee?
Yeah. I'm sure he's got some contacts.
Yeah.
And he's a big Bluetones fan. This could work.
Yeah,
mutually benefit.
work.
So, yeah. When you're there, take a photograph and thank us for coming up with the idea.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And I've got his number now, haven't I?
Yeah.
He's a big Bluetones fan, isn't he?
Definitely getting knocked out now, aren't they?
They're definitely not going to win it, but yeah. Good stuff. Right. So, Eds, we always ask all of our panel members to do their homework and have a question or questions prepared to ask you. Now, we might even have some listener questions. I don't know. Steve can reveal. But the first question this week, it's quite topical this week, thinking of Peter Kay. But what's the best or worst heckle you've ever had?
Sorry, the best or worst?
Heckle, like someone shouting out, like when you're being performing. Has anyone gone, "You're rubbish," or "Wow, you're amazing," throwing their knickers on the stage or something like that? What is anything like that?
Garlic bread.
Garlic dead.
Yeah, you get thrown out.
Yeah. Have you ever had any? What's best or worst of that? Anything memorable or?
Do
you know what?
Just abuse Mark.
I actually shouted something out at Mark when he played on Jersey by himself. He wasn't impressed.
What
So,
did you
yeah.
shout?
I said place like the turn. He's just like, I've been chatting to you in a bar. Fuck off.
So I went to see Mark in Sunderland, of all places, when he was playing. Because I was up there visiting a mate up in Durham, and we went to Sunderland to watch him play, and I was giving him dog's abuse throughout the whole set. But he expects it, and everyone in the crowd sort of expect that I've got to say something, right? Because it's like an elephant in the room. So yeah, I was heckling him quite a lot as well.
Brilliant.
Although I didn't ask for slight return. He played a song by, I think it's a Shaq song. And I said at the end of it, "Oh, that was brilliant. That's the best thing you've played all night." Which went down quite well.
Oh, great stuff. Right, next question. What's the best Bluetones track to drum along to? What's your favourite?
Like something really simple. Like I really enjoy playing After Hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
Which is a cracking song about staying in the pub after you should have gone home. Of course, the younger viewers won't have a clue what we're talking about there. But, yeah,
We haven't got any young
used to have
viewers.
to leave the pub at 11, didn't you? No. But yeah, nice little story that, and it's just kind of interesting and it's hard. It's like I don't feel like I'm drumming when I'm playing. In fact, there's a lot of the songs a lot of our songs, it doesn't feel like I'm drumming. It just feels like I'm sat there tapping along, clapping along, singing along.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
It's an absolute dream gig playing with the Bluetones.
Oh, I imagine. And you've got an upcoming tour as well, which Easter Sunday at York. I'm looking forward to that. Should be good. But yeah, what did you want to tell us a bit about the new music? You've got a new EP out and the upcoming tour. Is there anything you want to tease to anyone listening in or watching?
Are people really interested?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's another 3 songs. It's our second EP release. We released one last October. This one, lead track, is called In the Cut, and it's bit of a sort of rootsy rock stomper.
Yeah.
Again, it's like some of my best drumming, I think. Some of my best drumming I've ever done with the Bluetones is on that track. It's probably the best thing about the song, actually.
It's the drumming.
Cool. Yeah, the other 2 tracks are really good. The songs have come together very easily. It's been like 14 or 15 years since we've written or recorded anything together, and the songs have come out really quite easily.
Yeah.
So that, I think that's a good sign, right?
Yeah, definitely. Was the intention to release them as EPs then, rather than as an album? Was that always the plan, or was it just kind of happened that?
Yeah, it's because think of with the streaming platforms nowadays, it's like it's all about the song now, isn't it? Not the album, not the body of work. I think. I think that's the way I consume music as well. It's like I listen to a couple of songs from a new band rather than the whole album. So we kind of thought, well, let's just do that. Also, It's like when we embarked on writing new material, it's like to do 11 or 12 songs. That's a lot to get your head around.
Yeah.
Not knowing if anyone's going to be interested, if any of them are going to sell, you know. So anyway, the first EP sort of washed its face, as it were. What it cost us to make it, we made back on selling the vinyl and CDs, and now we've got 3 more songs on Spotify. So
Brilliant.
it's working quite well as like in that model, the EP model.
Good stuff. And the upcoming tour, will it have the usual favourites with a mix of the new, or is that all a secret?
Yeah.
Have you not decided yet what the set list?
No,
are you
we'll
going to
be
mix
playing
it up
all
night after
favourites.
night, or I'm asking too many questions now. I can tell. It's kind of we'll find out. We'll find out soon.
There is one surprise on this next batch of gigs, which of course I'm going to have to leave as a surprise.
Well, exactly. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a surprise anymore. But yes,
it would be a surprise.
Good stuff. Cool.
It's going to be Ed's blowing his own trumpet like he has for the last 5 minutes.
Hey, if you can't come on a podcast and blow your own trumpet, where can you? That's what I would say. Do you know what I mean? Right. Let's see. Homework questions. Who's done their homework? Oh, Lee always doing his homework. Come on, Lee. You weren't here last week, so come on. What question have you got for Eds?
Well, just thinking actually, I was at the gig at the Ritz in Manchester a couple of years ago, and I was stood at the front shouting to Mark, "Down with Pete Knickers," because that was his football team name. And I stood there for about 15 minutes, and I thought, I'm going to have to pack this in.
People like, what's the other?
People just thought I was weird, little fat bald man shouting "Down with Pink Knickers."
Yeah, it didn't sound right at all.
Please leave.
Yeah,
I think he's changed his name. Didn't he?
Yeah.
What is it now?
I can't remember those now.
Pink drawers now.
Drawers,
They wouldn't let him use pink knickers anymore. It was deemed
inappropriate.
Yeah,
it's probably
really. Is that right?
Yeah.
Clamping down.
Wow.
My question was going to be about practicing drumming. How do you practice drumming? But it sounds like you're that good that you don't need to. So I'm going to change it to something that you mentioned before about games, because I'm a keen board gamer, and I just wondered if any recommendations of board games that you can make. I've just bought SETI, so that's kind of the next one on the list. But I just wondered what type of board games any you can recommend.
Sorry, which one have you just bought?
SETI, so Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. It's like where you go off to different planets and looking for different life. But it sounds really good.
I mean, I really enjoy board games and playing with the kids when I can persuade them to. But I'm sort of at the moment just a bit obsessed with chess, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just playing a lot of chess online, chess.com. Board games wise, Catan I thought was quite interesting. That kind of held my interest for a while. And obviously classics like Risk. I think Risk's fantastic. You can play Risk online as well, which is much quicker than the board game. You don't have to fanny around with all that dice throwing. It's all like just generated much quicker with computers.
For you. Yeah, I've not played Catan yet, but again, it's one of the ones we've got. So yeah, just got into it over the past few years. So it's about getting kind of family together, but kids just don't enjoy it. Like I did as a kid. Playing Cluedo and Monopoly and stuff like that. It's like, well,
it's too slow, isn't it? It's too slow for kids nowadays. For the younger ones, anyway. My adult kids enjoy playing board games because they kind of, for them, it's retro. It's vintage. So it's like they're into it. Are you aware of a game called The Cooking Game?
No.
Right. So it's not really much strategy to it, but it's really entertaining. So like the board is a house, right? With well, actually it's not a house, it's a kitchen in a house. And you collect cards, and the cards are ingredients, and then you have like set menus that you have to make. You have to collect the right cards to make a set menu, and then someone wins by getting a starter, a main course, and a dessert, and then you present it. But then all the other people in the game are allowed to use whatever mixed up ingredient cards they've got to try and cobble together plausible recipes, which is good fun. Anyway, I recommend that. The cooking game, if you find that.
Yeah.
There's
I've
a
got-
lot
I've
of
got it
time
all.
on that tour bus, isn't there?
Well, we'll have to see what other board games you play on the two buses. Well, there's been goal action at Goodison, by the way. I was excited at first because Everton went 1-up, but Liverpool have just equalised this Friday morning. So it's Everton 1, Liverpool 1 after 16 minutes.
Any goal scorers there?
McAllister equalised for Liverpool, and Beto scored for Everton, and Branthwaite was the assist. Salah has just popped up literally as the assist for Liverpool. So more
Oh
Salah's assist.
man,
Yes.
So there you go.
that's
So
me getting beat
it's,
already.
It's
And no clean
1-0.
sheet for Pickford as well, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So there you go. 1-1 this Friday morning. We'll keep an eye on that for the remainder of the pod. Who else has got a question? Steve, Chris, what have you got?
I will go with then Eds. Before you were a Bluetone, you were in Soho, of course. So, do you want to tell us how that transfer deal went through? Or was Soho defunct then, or was there a shady deal in a service station?
Right. They were a lot older than me, Soho. I was only drafted in to play drums for them because they couldn't get my brother. My brother's a drummer as well, right? And he was playing in bands in North London, and they asked him if they'd play for. Soho asked my brother if they'd play for him, and he said he couldn't because he didn't want to leave the band he was in at that time. But he said, "Oh, check out my younger brother. He's like up at Newcastle University, not very happy. He wants to get out." I came down to London, met Tim, Jackie, and Pauline, and sort of hit it off. So that's how I got into Soho. But then when it came to writing and recording their second album, it's like I just wasn't into it. Do you know what I mean? It's like I didn't feel part of the group. It was all like break beats and electronic drums, and it just didn't. I don't know. I kind of lost faith in it, I guess. But at the same time, I was hanging out with Dodgy. You remember Dodgy, right? You know Dodgy. Nigel Clark's got a team, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He does the theme tune to the pod.
Oh, really?
So, yeah,
He does, yeah.
It's when you listen
So
to
I
it
was
back,
hanging
listen
out-
to the theme tune every week.
I was hanging out with Dodgy a lot, and I don't know if you know, but Mark and Scott and Adam used to live with Nigel and Andy. They all lived in a big house in Hounslow. And as Dodgy moved out, it sort of liberated a bedroom. But sorry, I missed a bit out. Math Priest from Dodgy introduced me to Mark, and we just hit it off straight away. And then I just started hanging out with them quite a lot. And then it was just like became inevitable that I couldn't be in both bands at the same time.
Yeah.
And I just kind of said to Tim from Soho, look, I just want to go and hang out with these other younger people who are into music, more kind of stuff that they were into what I was into.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did
I
the
wasn't
Bluetones
really
have a
into
drummer then?
The electronic stuff.
Did the Bluetones have an
Yeah,
original
they had a
drummer?
they had a string of people who they weren't really that impressed with. Yeah, a string of drummers. But then they met me and thought it was a good fit.
Excellent. So, on that note, shall I go into some listeners' questions?
Yes. Do that. Yeah.
The first one is from a Mark Morris in Tunbridge Wells.
Angry Tunbridge Wells.
Strangely, his is a football question. He says, who, in Ed's opinion, should Liverpool buy to replace Mo Salah when he inevitably leaves at the end of the season?
Oh, blimey. He's irreplaceable, isn't he? Or Salah?
Good answer.
Good answer.
Who could they afford to buy? No, I mean, where are they at in the all the affordability skills? I don't know.
Maybe Isaac. I think that's probably where the question's coming from.
Yeah, I presumed
Yeah,
that must
they're
have been a
not gonna
loaded
get
question.
Isaac.
I thought either that you'd had some mad suggestion. I thought he must be going down that route, but maybe it was just a serious
You think?
football question.
Is
Maybe
it
he
just
wants
as
you to
simple
think
as
about it.
as simple as they want Isaac?
Maybe. Well, have a think, and when you're on the tour bus, you can answer that question. You can give
Or
him an
Anthony
answer.
Gordon.
Anyway,
Well,
on to the,
is
Anthony
Gordon
would be a good one, wouldn't he? Yeah.
Is he a Liverpool fan or Everton? I'm not sure.
Everton.
Yeah, Liverpool. No, I think he's a
Is he
Liverpool
Liverpool?
fan, isn't he? Yeah, he's a Liverpool fan. I think. Yeah,
I do.
Is he?
I think that's why he was happy to leave Everton quite quickly.
Quite quickly.
We also have a question from Adam Devlin in London.
Oh, is he not in Dubai
yeah.
anymore?
I think he's just back to sort his team out just to keep him
right,
up for
okay,
another
fair
season. This is a bit more typical that you might expect from one of our listeners. He says, Eds, what's it like to almost win something at FPL?
Oh, what a wanker.
And then he goes on, is your favourite Batman villain the Choker?
Oh,
Ooh,
go on.
Hey.
You've got the floor, you Ed.
That
Go on,
hurts.
give me it.
that hurts. I've never. Yeah, I don't know, Mr. Devlin of London town, but one day we will have our vengeance.
I can see that cup final defeat still hurts,
Doubt
doesn't it?
Does
Of all the people to lose
I really
to.
thought? Do you know who I blame for that nearly season? The first time when I came second, it's that guy who he always quotes Graham Taylor, or his teams are always about Graham Taylor quotes, rather.
Oh.
Do I not like that? Who is that? Who is that manager?
I'm not sure. Anybody?
Is it
What's he called
Mark?
this season?
Not Mark, is it?
Yes, Mark Hawes something.
Horseman.
Oh, Horseman, yeah.
Horseman.
Yeah, I thought it was Mark's team. Yeah.
I blame him for my failure that season.
Any particular
'Cause
reason?
He did something strange with his team. What did he do? Oh yeah, I know now that like at the time I was probably a bit paranoid about maybe people from Leeds ganging up on me, right? This is before there was any kind of, because you were all talking on Twitter and I don't do Twitter. So when it all moved to WhatsApp, I kind of like became a lot less paranoid about these things. But Mark Horseman, he did that thing where he changed his team and just like took a minus 28 hit the week before he played me. And his team, the week he played me, was just like sublime, right? And I just think, why has he done that? He's just done that to take the points off me.
City trick.
It is.
Well,
I love that he still grinds after 6 years.
Yeah, I love how you remember that.
I did the same thing myself a couple of years ago. You know, because sometimes you just need to change your team and you haven't got a wild card to play. So you just do it. Mm-hmm. And then I realized when I'd done that, okay, he wasn't just being, you know, he was just looking after his team.
I love the mind games, though. You must have sat and thought for ages. He's done that a week before, so he can nail me.
Yeah.
The planning that would have gone into that.
Sticking pins in Mark's photo for 6 years. I hate you. I shall never forgive you for what you did. Do you look out for that fixture then, Eds, every year?
I do look out for that one. I
love it.
I was a little bit mean with Mark Summerton's Lazy Boys as well, because he was racing away with it, wasn't he?
Well,
at the
he's,
start
yeah,
of the season.
he's had a
And
bit
I
of a
just
bad
thought,
patch,
this
but
has
he's
got to
still
stop.
there. He's still top.
I just thought this
Still quite far ahead,
has
isn't
to stop. Otherwise, he's going to run away with it. So I triple captained on him. You have to, don't you?
Well,
You do.
yeah.
It's 3 points
Like
at
for the
end
good
of
of the community.
Well, I think he's had a
Yeah,
bad
he's 5
patch.
points clear.
He was about 9 points clear, and then he's
it's
whittled it
5.
right down. But I think if Eds or Paul or somebody, but I think Paul's playing me, so hopefully that won't happen. So hopefully, if you win Eds and he loses, I think there's only about 2 points in it or something. I think your game's
I'm
quite
6
close,
behind
isn't it?
him.
Yeah.
Tom Roberts of Shoot Music is on. He's 5
La-
points behind him.
Last week's guest.
Yes.
How's the game going? Have I got any chance of winning this week? I don't.
think
Who
you were
am I
doing
playing?
all right,
Stephen
yeah.
Taylor. Who's sorry? Someone said I'm playing them this week.
You're
Who
going
is
to
it?
beat me in the cup. That right now, the way it's playing out, you're going to beat me
right,
in the
right,
cup.
right,
So
okay.
that's
Right.
cup fun's over for me unless something strange happens with Robertson, which he's not really scoring goals this season, so I can't see it happening. This Friday morning.
I don't
of
look
course.
at the Premier League anymore. It's not worth it.
Right. So, Chris, have you got a question? Final question for Eds before we move on?
Yeah. So, what was back in the 90s? What's your favourite festival you played in? And do you kind of feel that the same sort of you getting the same sort of crowds at festivals now? Do you still get the buzz for the festivals now? Still, is it still the same?
I get so much. It's a completely different feeling nowadays. Yeah, like back then, I was a rabbit in headlights. I feel a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, we were just catapulted into this mega status, right? And I personally don't think we were ready for it. I think we probably put on a brave face. And we love playing together in a room. Don't get me wrong, we love playing together on stage. And we thought our songs were amazing. We recorded a decent first album. I think it could have been recorded better. But then to be catapulted onto like a headline like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the evening at Glastonbury or Reading, it's like that is really nerve-wracking. I was bricking it a lot of the time. Nowadays, it's just like a joy. It's an absolute joy to get on stage. I don't care. I'd be very happy to play in front of whatever, 20,000, 30,000 nowadays. But back then, it shit me up.
Yeah.
It never came across.
No.
Oh, well,
It
that's
must
good.
be kind of surreal. It must be kind of weird to sort of be in a band and then you're all practicing in your own space, and then all of a sudden you're on top of the pops or whatever. And
Massive, yeah. Such a like a ridiculous arc of success. Yeah.
have you
That
seen
90. Sorry.
Have you seen the
I've
Boys
spent
Zone
30 years
documentary yet?
30 years getting used to it. No, I haven't. No.
It's actually a good watch, but that's really weird in that Louis Walsh kind of threw these guys together. They didn't know each other or anything. And he said, right, this is my band. There's 5 or 6 of them. And then he booked them on the telly the night after, and they had nothing to sing. Three of them couldn't sing. And so that's the clip that you see sometimes where they're all dancing on that thing.
Yeah,
They literally go on and they
Yeah.
said, right, just be on the telly and just do something. So they had no dance routine worked out or anything. So they just made it up. So that's why they look
Is
like
it the Late
idiots, 'cause
Show?
Yeah, like the biggest show in Ireland, not just any TV show. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we'll put you on the number one show in Ireland.
They'd only been put together the day before. They said, I
Crazy.
just need to get you on the telly.
Yeah.
It's been mad.
I mean, we did know what we were doing.
Yeah.
The Bluetones, that is.
Yeah.
No, I'm
But
not comparing it to
very
Boys Zone.
nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Although I would like to see all 4 of you doing that kind of dance on stage. That'd be quite fun.
Maybe that's the surprise.
You
Yeah,
don't want
yeah,
to see
it's-
that.
See
End of
that
season.
Easter Sunday in
Yeah,
York.
you don't
Go on, it's my birthday
Yeah.
weekend. That'll be good. I'd like that.
And I know Mark's
Yeah,
got
I
a
can't
good,
wait for that.
Mark's got a good link to Boyzone, but I'll save that for when Mark comes on in a few weeks.
No.
Okay.
Look
Not
forward to
sure
that
I
one.
know that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
You'll have to tune in. So yeah, Eds was saying before the only episode he's listened to so far is Adam Devlin, so he can have the hat trick when Mark Morris comes on in a few weeks' time. So as if you were listening to,
Can I just say,
go on.
Sorry, can I just say,
Yeah.
since we're on Devlin, nice to see him struggling, isn't it, for a season? Don't you think?
I think
I
he has
had a
done that
little
for a
relegation
couple of
battle
seasons, and he
last
comes
year.
good at the end, though, doesn't he?
He was
always
struggling
comes
last
good.
year, and then he flew up, didn't he?
I think he finished about 5th in the end. Yeah, he flew up
Yeah.
right at the end.
He's a point behind me, and I think I'm going to go down a little bit more.
Yeah, there's still plenty of points to play for yet. Plenty of time for you to get relegated yet, Chris. Don't worry.
No, I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
I'm still sweating it, but a couple of wins will make me feel better.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting end to the season.
Well, I can tell you, it's a nightmare when you're at work and your wife rings you up and says, "Would you like me to give you some advice on your team?" No, thank you.
We need Nick to be a guest on this podcast.
No, we do not.
Yeah,
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's actually the record scorer this week as well. She's like
Yeah.
130 or something.
Should be going for manager of the month. That's what'll be happening next. All right. Should we have a game of Sing When You're Winning Superfan? So Eds, what we do is every week we test our guests' footballing knowledge and see how many questions they can get correct in 90 seconds. So how do you think you'll fare on this?
Fucking awful. I will literally be the worst contestant you've had.
Well, I don't know if you will be.
Yeah.
Well, if you get one right, you'll be going good. Put it this way.
Yeah, the one and only. That's all you need.
That's all we'll say. You need the one and only to get on the board. But Jim, last week's guest, hit the top with on the week that 7 was the popular number. He got the magnificent 7. So that is the score to beat. But yeah, we'll see how you get on. So Steve is going to do the timing as ever, and at the end of the 90 seconds he will say something topical. If I've asked you a question, started, so I'll finish, if that makes sense, in the true mastermind style. Which one of the two of you wants to do the fingers in the air doing the scoring?
I'll do it.
Go on, Lee will do it. Yeah, well, Chris did it last week, so we'll give him a week off this week.
Don't ponder, just pass.
Yeah, exactly. That could be a catchphrase. Yeah, don't ponder, just pass. We use ChatGPT as well. Just saying that up front, because occasionally it throws out randomly stupid questions that are wrong. If that happens, we'll stop and we'll try and edit it. But it can be mildly entertaining as well. The clock will start when I ask the first question. Are you ready?
Yes.
Good. Who was the last English player to win the Ballon d'Or before Michael Owen in 2001? I'll give you a clue. Don't ponder, I'll give you a clue. 1990. 1990. I'll give you a clue.
Lineker. Gary Lineker.
No, Paul Gascoigne. Other one. Which English club won the European Cup in 1982?
Liverpool?
It was Aston Villa. Which manager won the Premier League with Leicester City in 2016?
That was the Italian guy, wasn't it?
Was.
Ranieri.
Yes. Which England player scored a hat-trick in the 2010 World Cup against Slovenia?
Shearer?
Jermaine Defoe, apparently. Which team did Harry Kane score his first Premier League goal against? They're not in the Premier League at the moment. I'll give you a clue. They're not in the Premier League at the moment.
I already said, didn't I?
All right, it was Sunderland then. Sunderland. Which English player? Which player who played for an English club won the PFA Player of the Year award in 2009? He's not English.
Somebody get me free tickets.
Right, that must be. That must be a Newcastle player. That'll be 2009. Did you say?
Yeah, 2009. You think it's a Newcastle player? It's not. I'll give you a clue. It's not. Which player won the PFA Player of the Year award in 2009?
Oh, 2009. I don't know.
He was coming to the end of his career. I'm giving you lots of clues.
He was coming to the end of his career.
Yeah.
Thierry Henry, or did he
It
go
was
by
Ryan Giggs.
Ooh, I think it was going to be that.
Ryan Giggs.
So they said which English player, and he's not. He's Welsh. So lots
Welsh.
of stupid stuff there. But yeah, what was the score, Lee? How many
got
did
one.
Eds get? You got one. Which, to be honest, you're the only person who's ever got one. So you're not the bottom, but you're in a league of your own there, Eds, with one. But well done for getting one. You're not the lowest score that we've had this season.
There's only one and only person below you, though.
Yeah, but we shall remain nameless.
Don't know who that is.
But yes, there were some tricky ones in there, though. To be fair, it was a bit of a weird mix.
Don't say that. I don't need patronising.
They were Jermaine Defoe was a bit of a stinker, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. As the Americans say, I'm not patronising you at all. Trust me, don't patronise me. But I'm not. No, I thought there's some tricky ones in there. To be fair, let's have an update. Well, we had an update last week on Bletchley Scott, and the update is that they've got the feet up at the moment. They're not playing until March, which I think is just a bit mad. So rest up Bletchley, and we'll look forward to a couple of weeks' time to find out what they are up to. But I can see Lee is donning the Bletchley Scott top this week, which is very good.
Is that
Very
why they're
good.
not playing? Because they've been investigated by the league for having overage players.
I'm the new keeper.
How are they getting on?
They
Where
are.
they in the...
They won 3 in a bounce, which let me check. Wow, we're talking.
Evened out the 6 on 6 on the bounce they lost, I think.
Yeah, but they were coming
Got
good.
mid-table out there somewhere.
Yeah. I'm just bringing it up now. They are the tables. Bletchley Scott are sat in 6th out of 11. Played 13, won 5, drawn 2, lost 6. They're doing all right. They had a bit of a tough start. They've got some teams in there that win 11-0 and stuff like that who they're up against.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're doing quite well. 6th in the league. And a couple
Second
more weeks
half.
and they will be back. Right. So we're going to end this week's podcast with, as we like to do, a game of shooting stars. Did you used to read Match or Shoot magazine when you were younger? I know you said you weren't
I was
massive
aware
into
of it.
football, were you? But
Yeah, I was aware of it, and some of my mates would have Shoot magazine. Yeah. What was the other one?
Match magazine.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. But I remember Shoot.
Yeah. Well, in Match and Shoot magazine, they used to do quick fire questions with the kind of thing you see in Heat magazine, I guess, where you just ask random questions to famous footballers. And we, for no reason at all, just like to do that at the end of episodes. So we'll ask you the same questions, just quick fire questions, and see what find out some interesting facts about you. So first question is, what subject did you hate most at school and why?
English. I
English.
wasn't very good at writing.
Oh, right, okay. That's why you went for the
Bit
drumming.
dyslexic.
Right, okay.
And maths and science.
Oh, good stuff. What would you do if you could be invisible for a day? You've clearly never thought about it.
Ruin Devlin's football team. His passwords.
Yes, that's a thank you. Yeah, I'll do that.
Get into the Carabao
get
Cup
Devlin's
final
password.
for free.
I'll just-
That's what you could do. Be invisible on Cup final day. What if
I'm gonna have a good think
anything-
about this later.
Yeah. What if anything frightens you?
Heights. Can't stand being on a precipice of any description.
Okay. Okay.
I just get this bad feeling.
No, fair enough.
Because you could just end it all right there if you wanted. I'm not saying I want to.
No, but
Whatever
you
it
could
is.
if the wind
This
blew
took a
really
turn.
badly or anything like that. Yeah. No, I
I
must
just get
admit,
a-
I'm not not a huge fan of heights either. But anyway,
Yeah.
Jamie doesn't like
Yeah.
buttons.
You know, people
Yeah.
people say they get a bad feeling in their gut. I like get it in my nuts. I get a bad feeling in my nuts.
I was not expecting that.
Is that how you feel about buttons then, Jamie?
I can't say I've ever had that feeling in my nuts. Anyway, I don't even want to go down this avenue. Let's move swiftly on. Oh, anyway, wow. Okay. So yeah, stay away from heights, Adam and Mark, when you're next driving around with the Bluetones. Who are your favourite pop stars?
Yourself?
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake. You quite
Quite
like
like
Justin
Justin
Timberlake, do you?
I do.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Who is your
Quite
favourite
like
cartoon
Beyonce
character?
as well.
You like Beyonce as well? All right. Good stuff. Who is your favourite
Just like
cartoon character?
Danger Mouse.
We should have a
Another
score
Danger
for
Mouse.
Danger
You should
Mouse.
have a league table of these.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danger Mouse.
Danger Mouse has had
Pissy,
3
wouldn't
now,
he?
and lots of people are loving a bit.
Oh,
of,
really? Hitting big.
Yeah.
That's just the demographic, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Man.
Last 2 questions then. Have you ever been mistaken for someone else?
No, but some people used to come up to me and say, "Are you Eds from the Bluetones?" And I would just look at them blankly and I know, a bit naughty, but you know, got to get your kicks somewhere.
Well, yeah, exactly. Brilliant. And what was the first car you bought, and how much did it cost?
It was it was a Datsun Sunny or Cherry. It was like ancient, and this is in the Soho days. So Pauline was one of the twin singers. Her fella John was just getting rid of the car, and he didn't want anything for it. I think I offered him 100 quid, but he said, "No, I don't want it." Does that count?
Yeah,
that was my first
completely
car.
counts. Yes, you
Datsun
got free
Cherry.
Datsun Cherry. Awesome.
Yeah,
Great stuff.
it lasted about a year. I don't think it passed its next MOT,
Don't
but
matter,
it went up
it's
to
free.
Durham and back 2 or 3 times.
Excellent. Tunes on in the car.
Got pulled,
Good stuff.
actually. I got pulled and had to do a producer, a license producer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thought you were going to
Like,
start
what
talking
else is
about
it
heights
produced?
and your nuts again. I was getting worried about where that was going, to be fair. Great stuff. Well, you'll be pleased to know, Eds, that is this week's pod done and dusted. So thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with the rest of the season. Who knows? This could be the season that you win something. Could be the one, like,
Yes, we will.
and it could be the season
Carabao
that
Cup.
Newcastle wins something. I'm talking about you in the league as well. You could have double fun this season. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
We
but
might do
you
the double.
Exactly. Imagine that. The Eds double in fantasy and reality. We'll be watching.
Or you might come second again.
Nice one, Steve.
Yeah.
Steve, bringing you back down to earth. You might finish second and runners up in the Carabao Cup.
Just bringing balance to the chat. That's
yes,
all.
always bringing balance. That is true.
Thank you.
Follow
Steve.
us on Twitter at SWYW. Well, it's follows on X, isn't it? At SWYW_FPL. If you're watching this on YouTube, why not leave us a comment or ask us an FPL question? We're also on TikTok. Weirdly, last week's video got very little views as opposed to previous weeks, so I'm not sure what was going on there. But yeah, thanks to Eds, thanks to Chris, Steve, and Lee for joining us on another SWYW podcast. Enjoy your footballing week. Keep on singing and keep on winning. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.